Jimmy Kimmel recently got fired over his comments about Charlie Kirk, basically trying to blame it on Trump supporters, because that's what these people like to do. They like to cheerlead for your murder, and then after the murder happens by one of their own, they then want to blame you for it. So they'll kill you and then blame you for it, or your family and friends. And Jimmy Kimmel, just another example that represented that. And I didn't want to talk about the story because I wanted to see how it played out. And as I suspected, Disney is already working on reaching an agreement to bring Jimmy Kimmel back. Now, the argument is, well, they're concerned about the staff losing their jobs. But the fact of the matter is, they saw one too many conservatives celebrating. And just like with the James Gunn situation, who got fired after letting off hundreds of tweets fantasizing about having sex with children, they brought him back, and they're going to bring Jimmy Kimmel back as well. And you have idiots like, I'm going to use Adam Carolla as a perfect example, who will insist on believing that you can come to some sort of common ground with these people, even if they give you a victory you think is a victory, that they still won't attack. And this Jimmy Kimmel situation, bringing him back, is an attack after they've removed him. And the reason why I bring up Adam Carolla is because Adam Carolla perfectly represents that naive conservative. Now, in Adam Carolla's case, he actually believes Jimmy Kimmel is a friend of his because, since all of this has been happening, people obviously, Adam Carolla, a so-called conservative and friend of Jimmy Kimmel, they brought the situation to his attention. Obviously he was already aware, but he felt compelled to speak about it. And basically, to sum it up, he remains a good friend to Jimmy Kimmel, talking about how he knows Jimmy as a human being. But here's where reality hits, conservatives in general in the face. You believe you can be friends with liberals, but those very same friends and even family members that are liberals want you dead. And they will never have your back the way you foolishly have theirs. And Adam Carolla is a perfect example of it. He's standing by his bro, his friend from the Man Show, 10 toes down. But when has Jimmy Kimmel ever stood up for Adam Carolla? When has he used his friendship with Adam Carolla as an example that people who vote on the right side of things can be good and decent people? I have a friend, Adam Carolla. No. Not only has he not had his back, he hasn't even had Adam Carolla on his show since 2019. They haven't even been seen together publicly in photos or anything since 2019. And I can guarantee you, if Jimmy Kimmel wanted to come on Adam Carolla's podcast, Adam would happily welcome him on. But guess what? Jimmy Kimmel doesn't appear on Adam Carolla's podcast because of his politics. Now, I'm sure he's still a friend to Adam Carolla, surface level. He'll talk to him on the phone, may even have him over his house. But he will never be Adam Carolla's friend publicly. Meanwhile, Adam Carolla will vouch for Jimmy Kimmel all of the time publicly. And Adam Carolla, this naive one-way friendship he believes is real, is a perfect representation for conservatives in general. Because long before this Charlie Kirk situation, I've stated repeatedly, specifically on my previous channel, that it's a waste of time debating, arguing, thinking you can coexist with liberals. Because you can't do that with people who you disagree with on every single thing, because everything they vouch for is pure insanity. And you can't coexist with people who want you dead, even at the risk of their own lives and their loved ones' own lives. Because these liberal policies that these people advocate for, the pro-crime in particular, the pro-crime stance is something that negatively affects us all. You can be stabbed, killed, shot, and robbed by a thug that's been arrested 20 previous times, and they're not seeing if their victim voted for the Democrat Party or the Republican Party, left wing or right wing. No, they're predators and they just attack. But liberals will rather risk that existing in our society just to be adversarial towards conservatives. And again, you can't coexist with people like that. Should have been pretty obvious in 2020, but no. Many of them are still as naive as Adam Carolla, thinking that they have friends or can have friends on the left. And the fact of the matter is, you can't. They're your enemies, pure and simple. And so, quite frankly, I hope they rehire him, bring his show back. Because these idiots on the so-called right need as many wake-up calls as possible.